Welcome to Cap the Cage. This is another episode of our UFC MMA type betting show here with Harry and Pat. You can see Harry out there enjoying Florida at the moment. You weren't with us last week. I'm gonna bring up the screen here just to show what we did last week. It was kind of, I wouldn't say like a rough week, but we obviously didn't profit. We did go one and two on the week here. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can probably see a little bit better. We did go 1 and 2. We took Charles Johnson at a minus 160. He ended up losing that one by decision there. That definitely the wrong side here with Linus inside the distance. I think we took him because of the number at plus 300. We only did half unit on that one. Ended up winning with Sakai. We only did a half unit on that one. And then obviously the main didn't go how we planned because it got canceled. So ended up going 1 and 2, losing mainly because of the Charles Johnson fight. And other than that, man, we're looking to bounce back this week here on a really nice card, and we can actually get straight into it. The first fight up is I think is not Leo, like Mana Martinez and Cameron. And this one here, I feel like I don't have a good read on it, but I know Pat, you were talking about this in the chat a little bit. Break it down for us. What is your angle on this one?
I think we're paying a premium backing a Dana White Contender Series fighter who had a highlight reel knockout against a lower level opponent. In that fight, he was actually an underdog as well. So he came through as an underdog. You saw him in his debut against Kozlo. Kozlo was a debuting fighter as well. He ended up getting the third round finish, but there were a lot of holes in his game leading up to the finish. Remember, Kozlo was a late notice replacement. Now on the flip side, you got Mana Martinez. He has good striking, he has power in his fists. He struggles with the takedowns. So that is probably why Cameron Saaiman is priced at minus 300. But I think that's a little too steep for a fighter in his 8th professional fight who has shown holes in his game. He's only 22 years old. He's still growing. He's still learning. This is a taxed, I don't want to say debuting, but sophomore fight for Saaiman. Leo Mana Martinez, he utilizes his footwork, his reach, his range. He's trained at Glory MMA and Fitness, while James Krause is under investigation for betting on fights. That he was a good coach. You know, you can't take that away from him. He is a great coach. And I just think Leo Mana will be a step ahead, especially in the striking department. So because of the odds, I'm playing Leo Mana. This fight should be way closer than the odds indicate. I played Leo Mana Martinez at plus 250 for 1.5 units. This is just way too wide of a line, in my opinion.
I know. So looking back at Martinez's fights, the last few have gone the distance. While on the other side, Cameron has finishes on his side. Are you thinking that Martinez can finish Cameron here, or what are your thoughts on
Yes,
that? Or do you think it's going the distance?
I do.
If it favors Martinez, you would think it would go the distance.
I think
think you're
Martinez
on.
has multiple paths to victory here. That's the thing. I think that, round one.
Are you,
I
Pat? Are
don't.
you good?
I was like, I don't know if this is my
Oh
connection
yeah,
or
I think
Pat's.
it might be his. It
Yeah.
might be his connection.
Oh, oh.
Hold on one
All
second.
right.
Hold on.
All right, Harry, what do you think
You're
about this?
good.
We'll get Pat situated there.
I'm in the same boat as Pat here. I think this one's a misprice. Saaiman just really hasn't proven very much yet at the UFC level. You know what I mean? I mean, Kozlo isn't really a UFC level guy to fight in your debut. I think this is more of a true UFC debut, considering Kozlo was a late replacement, a late notice replacement. But yeah, Mana's got some decent power in the hands. He's got good striking, good footwork, utilizes his jab well, builds off of it well. I think his best path here will probably be point fighting behind combinations, leading with his jab and just kind of building
Yeah.
off of that, really working the body and just taking Saaiman into kind of, you know what I mean? It's grown man strength for a 22-year-old.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
going to give
No,
me plus 250 on that, I think I'm going to take it almost every single time.
that makes a lot of sense there. This was one that I was kind of like, also with you guys, thinking the number was off here. I just didn't really have that experience of figuring out whether Cameron's fights have been, I guess, worthy of his record here. So that makes sense. We'll see if Pat pops back on, but so it looks like we're looking towards Martinez here at plus money, and I heard Pat say he had it at like what, a unit and a half or maybe more.
I think he was
So
going big. Yeah.
he's pretty confident in this one. So we'll look at this one later when we look at the bets. Next one up we have Araujo and Ribas. This one here, 11-4 Araujo, 10-3 Ribas. I mean, this is one where Araujo seems like she has, she's been the more active fighter. She is a little bit older in age here. Both these fighters have lost two of their last three UFC fights as well. This fight, I didn't really catch my eye. I just didn't seem like one that I was kind of doing a lot of research on. But I feel like Pat, I think you mentioned this one in the chat as well. Are you looking towards someone in this fight here? Oh, okay, he's broke again. Well, I feel like I brought this on because I know he brought something into the chat.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, RC. I it's such a good card that I feel like I don't need to get in the weeds on an Amanda Ribas fight. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force a play there just for the sake of forcing a play there. I know it's pretty close to a pick'em right now, right? It's about I think like minus 115, minus 105, like
exactly
something like that. So listen, if
I just
you
didn't
think
see
you
an
have the
advantage.
read.
Yeah.
Right. I don't see either woman having a big advantage. I guess you could argue Araujo is probably going to be the better striker on the feet, and we've seen Ribas get pieced up and knocked out before. So, maybe there's that, but you could also probably argue that Ribas will have the advantage in the jiu-jitsu and in the grappling. So I just don't have a good read on this one. I would personally, I say save a unit, save it for something else on the card. But if you got a good read, go with your gut.
Pat, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, my internet.
You're good. You're good.
Getting the place remodeled. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Araujo in this fight. I like the odds on her. I think she has more finishing upside and more decision winning upside. She will land the harder strikes as well, in my opinion. And she also is coming off a pretty competitive fight with Alexa Grasso. She did good against Alexa Grasso. I know she lost, but she did good. She made a good account of herself. So I don't know. She has the experience. She's gone the distance before. Better striking. Like I said, I just think that she has the upside compared to Amanda Ribas. I like Vivi. I would favor up to a minus 140. I will play the unit. I'm not going to save my unit. I'm going to spend it. So.
All right, there you go. All right, so next up here we have Garry and Kenan. This one, I thought. All right, so we were talking right before the show, Harry, but for me, I was looking at Garry on this one. He's a longer fighter here by height and reach. Song is 4-2 in the UFC, coming off of a first-round KO loss to Max Griffin. 4 of his 6 UFC fights have also ended by knockout here. I know Garry has gone the distance the last 2 and won those by unanimous decision, but to me, this seems like a type of fight where he can I feel like he can get the KO finish here, but I know you mentioned you're really not that impressed with him yet. What are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, so, I will say Garry, he did impress me in his last fight. I believe the last fight was Gabe Green, right? And I remember coming away from that fight thinking, okay, it looks like he's growing a little bit. He's starting to put it together in the UFC. So it looks like he's trending in the right direction, at least. You know what I mean? Maybe the potential is there, but no, he hasn't really shown me anything yet to warrant being a minus 750 favorite in a fight with a pretty game opponent. Like, yes, Song hasn't been in the best of form lately, but not a bum by any means. So I think that price is way off. I can't fault anyone who chooses to take a stab at Song. I think the value play here is the over 1.5 rounds at minus 125, I believe it is. I think Song is experienced enough and smart enough as a fighter to at least be able to survive 7.5 minutes with Garry, who, like I said, is a good fighter, but doesn't have tremendous finishing ability by any means. He's going to be the longer guy. He's probably going to be better on the feet, but I think that Song is experienced enough and good enough to, if nothing else, just survive. I'm not saying he's going to win, but to survive 7.5 minutes, I feel pretty good about his odds there.
Gotcha. Yeah. What do you think, Pat? Are you on the same boat with Harry here?
I think momentum plus upside is in favor of Ian Garry. With that being said, I don't think that he justifies a minus 750 price tag. You can look at props in the spot to kind of bring it down, but I'm not going to be paying the tax on Ian Garry just yet. He's still a young fighter, developing. You know, we've seen him touched up, pieced up before. Again, he's young, so he's still going to learn, you know, on his way to, more experience, more cage time.
Yeah.
But you know, Ian Garry's also been training with Shavkat too. He's been getting in some sparring sessions in with him. So I mean, that's that's a good look for him, especially in this fight. I think his confidence is at a high right now, and he's just kind of coming into his own. I like Ian Garry by submission in this fight, and that is just by submission. Yep, this is just based on odds though. I think that it's juicier to look at the submission prop than it is the TKO prop. I'm getting a lot of Loma Lukubumi vibes from this fight. So, yeah, I like Ian Garry.
What is the number on the sub that you were looking at?
It's plus 525. His TKO is pretty juiced. So the TKO.
Yeah, the last time I looked at the Garry by KO, it was minus 120. So
yeah,
yeah, that was the way that I was looking, Garry by KO. But I mean, like what you mentioned when we took Lukubumi by KO and she ended up getting the sub win instead. That was kind of, obviously a bummer, but or was it the other way, sub or KO? So one of those. We picked one and then went the other
won
way.
by submission.
Yeah, okay. So we thought by KO and then she ended up winning by sub. So yeah, now I get what you're saying there. So let's move on to the next one here. We got Brunson and Du Plessis. This one here, I'll bring this page up here. So we were talking right before the show as well. I mean, Brunson's getting up there in age, guys. 30, I think almost 40 years old here. Brunson hasn't fought either since last year versus Kenan, I believe it was.
Kenan bounced his head off the canvas.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the last time I watched Du Plessis, he looked like he was getting gas, and all of a sudden he gets the sub win. Like, it almost seems like the longer the fight goes, even though he looks gassed, it's kind of misleading. Like, he actually has a little bit of more energy in that tank there. I don't know if this is going to go past like the second round here, but to me, I feel like if it does get past the first round, Du Plessis has the advantage here for the most part. But altogether, I was looking at him towards the knockout, win inside the distance, possibly there. But Pat, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, this is a tough fight. I always count out Derek Brunson. I can't get a Brunson fight right to save my life. This guy just
one of those guys.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, man. You can't get him right. When he's wobbled, his desperation takedowns are so elite that he just lands them. I mean, we saw Kevin Holland wobble him. What happens? Kevin Holland loses the fight anyways. Derek Brunson is one of those weird fighters. You can chin him, but you have to finish him like Jared Cannonier did. You have to make it like really ugly. Which is doable for Dricus, but I don't know where I stand on Dricus just yet. I don't like the number. I think it's justified. I just don't want to touch Derek Brunson fights ever because you just never know what you're going to get. This is a guy who I've just gotten historically wrong. I bet on Darren Till. Why? I don't even know. But yeah, Darren Till loses. I bet on I forgot who I bet on before him. Oh yeah, Edmund Shabazian was a parlay piece for me. Derek Brunson goes out there and beats him. There's just been a history of Derek Brunson wins out of his asses, and I can't get it right, man. I cannot nail this guy. So I'm gonna pass on this fight. I see all of the upside on Dricus here, but at the number, I'm just not too sure. I don't want to get burned by Derek again, so I'm gonna pass.
What do you think, Harry? You got anything on this one?
No, that's fair. I can't fault that. But the way I see it at the end of the day, RC, we were talking about it before we started here. Like you said, Brunson is 39 years old, man. He's coming off of a brutal knockout where he took 2 or 3 really nasty follow-up shots. It stands to reason that could be the one. You know what I mean? That could be the one he doesn't really come back from. That could be the one where he really starts to fall off a cliff. And I think Dricus seems to be actually good. He's been impressive so far. He's also just very difficult to deal with, very unorthodox striking. It looks very
Weird.
awkward and janky, but it works. Like, dude, if I went into the gym and tried to strike like Dricus, I would get knocked out in 3 fucking seconds flat, dude. No question about it. If I didn't already have a broken fucking knee, but I think Dricus by KO is the play here. I think Brunson is the much better wrestler, obviously much better credentialed wrestler. I don't think Dricus will have any interest in taking this one to the mat or rolling with Brunson. But I think he has the power to just put him out on the feet, especially coming off of that knockout to Kenan here.
I agree. I think that's I like that play a lot too. I mean, that's the one that was leaning towards the DDP within the distance. Even maybe if we take it specifically to KO, it might be a better number as well because inside the distance was -140 the last time I seen it, so it is juiced. The other thing too is like
I just don't see him. I don't see him wanting to be in grappling exchanges with Brunson. You know what I mean? I could obviously be wrong here, but that's where Brunson has the advantage in my mind. So it just doesn't make sense. Now, of course, it's MMA, and none of it makes sense all the time. So who the fuck knows? But I think KO is the play here. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like at this age, I don't think Brunson wants to go the distance here. Also, for DDP, he's like I said, he looks gassed in the third round all the time. I don't think he wants to get there either, because that would mean that there's opportunity for Brunson to take care of business in the later rounds. Because I mean, obviously he has the more experience, but I just feel like I don't think it's gonna go the distance. That was the other way, was the under, but I feel like it's gonna be juiced. The under is. Yeah. The other thing too, we've been getting burnt taking the older guys for the most part in our shows.
Yeah.
So this might be the one where we take the opposite side here.
The fountain of youth, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the next fight here. We got Garbrandt and Trevin Jones here. We've been chatting about this one for a week, for a little bit, and it seems like we're looking towards the dog here. I know Garbrandt is someone who's been losing. We talk about momentum, Pat. You talk about momentum, and he's lost 5 of his last 6 fights here, and like
the only win was the corpse of Rafaela
He's been KO'd a few times. Yeah, exactly. And then on the opposite side, I know Trevin Jones. So if we look at Trevin Jones, he's lost 3 in a row as well. But I think it is the combination of both momentum and also the line, the number. I feel like it shouldn't be. I don't think Garbrandt should be this much favored in this spot. I was looking towards Trevin Jones by decision, and Harry was saying, well, why not by knockout? Pat, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
I just want to say before we start, that is an offensive 3-fight stretch of matchmaking by the UFC matchmakers, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful.
Trevin Jones, you got to fire your agent, bro. You got to figure something out, because that is Saeed to Basharat to Barcelos is a murderer's row.
Not even that. He debuted against Valiv. Timur Valiv is a savage. He won that fight too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like that is some, other than Batista, that is some crazy matchmaking.
Yeah, that's so disrespectful by his managers. Anyways.
Yes, apologies for the interruption. I just couldn't not make that observation.
I like the decision. I like the decision call out, RC. I just think that the number is a little bit more attractive than inside the distance. Yeah, we've seen Cody get touched up and chinned before, and maybe his chin is gone. But I'm not gonna. I don't know. I think that you're getting more of a more value for the decision line, because Trevin Jones. The thing with him is he doesn't throw. He's a low volume kind of cage wrestler, and if you look at his fight against Sajikub, all he did the whole fight was push up against the cage. 0 strikes, just cage clinch the entire time. He got submitted, but that's what he does. He's going to push Cody up against the cage and bully him in this fight. I do think Cody Garbrandt is the better fighter, but man, that chin is just a little bit worrisome for me. I do think he can get bullied as well at bantamweight, so I don't know, that decision number. I mean, I think you pretty much talked me into it. I don't really want to pick a side. This is another fight that I think you're getting more value on a prop for either fighter, as opposed to picking a side. The thing with Trevin Jones, he doesn't throw much. He does have power, but he still hasn't mixed in his game quite to the extent of Cody Garbrandt's opponents. So Cody Garbrandt on the flip side, while his chin is gone, he's fought a higher level of competition. He's been a champ before. He does have good lateral movement. So I don't know. I like your call on the Jones decision, but I don't have a side in this
last
fight.
time I saw it is at like plus 450. So that was the reason why I kind of went
I
that
like
route.
it.
I definitely
also
like the
just the
number
fact
there.
that Garbrandt is more likely to like try and KO his opponent, and Jones hasn't been KO'd before, and I think it has to do with his length and reach. He's able to keep that distance for the most part. So that's kind of the reason why I went that route. But I think Harry made a good point too with well, you too, Cody's chin. It seems like it's not really there anymore. So how much does it take to really take him down, right, Harry?
Right,
Well,
right.
yeah,
And
go ahead and elaborate.
he's at the point in his career where those things don't really tend to get better fight to fight, as far as durability and just
Yeah.
resilience and your chin more or less. But yeah, I mean, we've seen Corey come out and get finished quite a few times now. He's only got 17 career fights, but he's been in a lot of wars. Team Alpha Male was known for sparring very hard for a very long time. So I just think Cody's just, unfortunately, I don't think he's got it anymore, man. I think the chin is gone. The way that I see it, this is you want to call this my Mystic Mac prediction. I think Cody is going to have a lot of trouble closing that distance, getting inside of that 5-inch reach advantage that Jones
For
has.
real.
I think he's going to get caught with an uppercut or a little check hook on the way in, and that's going to be all she wrote.
Man, that's good. I like that. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. We got Bo Nickal. This one, I mean, this this one's like, do we think of anything else other than first round sub, like or like with this number here? There's no way that you're gonna take. I I don't know who's gonna take the money line at like minus 2,000. But I mean, if we think about it, right, this is only his third. What is it? Third professional fight. First one in the UFC, right? For Bo Nickal, yeah.
Fourth?
Fourth,
This
yeah.
is
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
fight.
Fourth, yeah. There was
Do
one
we-
outside the UFC and then the 2 Contender Series fights.
Yeah, exactly. And then Pickett, he's been finished in his last 2 fights. One of them, a first round sub by Kyle Dawkins. So I mean, like I said, is it as easy as just taking Nickal in the first round? Even if we just get it specifically at sub, I last time I saw it, it was plus 100. Or are we
I
gonna?
saw minus 110 for first round sub last time.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. So it's
Which
probably
is
moving then.
crazy to me. That's so crazy to me.
It's probably moving then. I brought it in the chat earlier. I said,
Yeah.
possibly plus 100, and Pat was like, "Man, that should be like minus 150." I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this one? Obviously, it's juice. I mean, what can you expect?
Right. I just can't pay that price. Like, obviously, the prodigal son, incredible wrestler, super credentialed, like has run through every opponent he's faced in MMA so far. But I just can't bring myself to take fucking minus money on a first on a round plus method combo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, dude, those are usually the bets that you're throwing darts at, like plus 3,000, plus 2,500. Like, that's a dart usually. Like, the fact that, and listen, clearly Vegas is confident in the guy, or they want to trick people into throwing their money down on it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay away from this one. I think Nickal probably runs through him. I think Bo probably comes out and just double. Maybe he wants to show off the striking a little bit, prove he's a complete martial artist, whatever the fuck. But he is gonna double leg him through the fucking crust of the earth, and he's probably just gonna get that top pressure, submit him with an arm triangle or something.
Yeah, Pat, what do you think?
Yeah, Harry stole the words from my mouth. I'm not going to break down a minus 1,100 fighter, minus 2,000 in some
Minus
spots.
2,000, dude. Minus
Crazy.
I'm not going to break it down. I mean, what's understood doesn't need to be explained.
Right.
Nickal, round 1, that's it.
All
Leave it
right.
at that. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it
Yeah.
simple, stupid. All right, so next up we got Jalin, Turner, and Gamrot here. This one's I feel like a really good fight. And so if we look at this right, so Turner obviously he's been like I don't know if it would say surprise, but he's been on a really good run lately, finishing a lot of his opponents. I think it's his last 5 he's finished inside the distance, and this was after he lost to Frivola, who was our guest last week.
sir.
Shout out to Harry for bringing him on. But Gamma is coming off of that fight against Dariush. I think one thing to note is Turner was supposed to initially fight Hooker, and Gamma took this, I think, a few weeks in, like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. It was a
Two
very
2 weeks
short
ago.
notice.
And now he's a minus 200 favorite, not even being like really prepared. I mean, 2 weeks, obviously, I think maybe he should have time to have prepared, but he's a minus 200 favorite here. To me, when I was looking at the history of these fighters, I was thinking maybe this goes the distance here because it's at plus 160. Turner does have the height and reach advantage here. Maybe but I think it would be advantageous to him if to keep this up, but can he keep him up? Right? Is he going to be able to keep Gamrot up? That's the question that I had. But Harry, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, man, I think you nailed it. Obviously, like Pat said, we don't need to explain the understood. Turner is a physical freak for 155. I do not understand in the slightest how that guy at like 6'3" with a 6'5" wingspan manages to get down to 155 is well beyond me. But I think Turner is the value side here. You know what I mean? He had a full camp. He's got he's a much bigger guy with a lot of reach. Now, on the flip side, yeah, Frivola basically beat him by out wrestling him. So there's obviously a path there for Gamrot, who's fought higher level competition lately with guys like Dariush and Armin Sarukian. And, I'm sure Gamrot stays ready. He trains at American Top Team, so it's not like he's coming off the couch and he's out of shape and this and that. But I think Gamrot is the better fighter, but Turner is the value side here. That's what I think.
Yeah, Pat, what you want to add on to that especially about the value side here?
Yeah, originally looking into it, I was kind of looking at Turner as the underdog. I just can't do it after running the tape. I just think Mateusz Gamrot has elite level wrestling. He has good cage control. He's he's good in the clinch as well. I don't know, man. Jalin Turner needs to find that knee, and what this fight reminds me a lot of is Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev. It was easy work, and you get trapped by that Hooker knee, and that's exactly what Turner's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to, time a perfect knee on Gamrot, or he could put him out in the striking department as well. I'm not gonna put it past him. I think
like
Jalin
that
Turner,
Derek Lewis uppercut on Curtis.
Yeah,
Blades, like just catch him on the shot,
and it's possible. It's possible, but Turner is you can out grapple this guy for 15 minutes. You can do that. If you look at Turner's grappling, the only person he out grappled was Earl Smedic in his little win streak. Earl Smedic, come on now. That's a guy from Alaska FC, and if you don't know who that is, everybody there is 0-10. So I don't know.
You try booking local shows in Alaska. See how far you get.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to pass on this fight. Initially, I was looking at Jalin Turner. I do think that he has more of a shot than Dan Hooker did against Islam. I'm comparing the fights as far as styles, not that Mateusz is Islam. Different
levels.
There's levels to this, yeah. But you know what I mean as far as like the styles. Yeah, I'm going to pass on this fight. I think Jalin Turner, I think that the line is accurate after reevaluating it. I'm going to pass on this fight completely.
So
fair.
Not considering the side here, right? So we haven't seen Turner get subbed before. Obviously Gamrot his losses have gone to decision. 9 of his wins were by decision as well. And the way that I was looking at it, I feel like if this becomes a wrestling match, I feel like it could go this distance, and going the distance is at plus money, plus 160. So that's the reason I was kind of looking in that direction. Not thinking about the side here, is it possible that these guys go to distance?
I like that call, actually. I do like if you think that Gamrot wins this fight, he is most likely winning it through top control and wrestling and ground and pound. It's doing just enough to maintain position and kind of just riding it out. I like that read. I don't hate that read by any means.
What do you think, Pat?
My official Tapology prediction is Gamrot to win by decision. But again, that's just a Tapology prediction. It's not a bet. It's not a pick. Just a prediction. That's it.
Gotcha.
I don't know how I really see this fight going, man. You got Turner coming in with a full camp, but he was training for a guy like Dan Hooker. He was training for a striker, not this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is different. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna pass this fight though. Overall.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We got Shavkat and Geoff Neal here. So Shavkat is the heavy favorite here. Pat, I know you got a strong look on this one. Obviously, the heavy favorite here, Shavkat 16-0. He's shown how well rounded he is, right? 8 KOs, 8 subs, right? No losses. Um, Jeff Neal, he does have that puncher's chance, though. It feels like he has also has a decent gas tank, so he can last long in this fight here, going the distance in 3 of his last 4 fights. What is your take on this one? As far as the side goes.
Um, listen, listen. This is gonna be super unpopular, but again, I like Jeff Neal. It's the number for me. It's the number. You're paying that the tax on Rakhmonov, and Jeff Neal is not a slouch. That dude is a beast. Now you look at his record. Yeah, he has a loss to Neil Magny, a loss to Wonderboy Thompson, but this is a guy who had a long layoff. He had like heart issues and health problems that almost made him retire from the game. There was a while there in his career where he couldn't even get a fight because people didn't want to fight this guy. Um, he I believe he worked at like Texas Roadhouse, and they could not even like he was trying. They were trying to book a fight against him, but he got denied several times. This guy has hands of steel. It's literally in his name. He can strike. He is good. He comes from a good camp. Fortis MMA, baby. Let's go. I think the number's off. I really do. But again, referring back to last fight, the Tapology prediction will be Shavkat by decision. But
By decision.
by decision, yeah. And that's not going to be like I just don't have any confidence in the result of how this fight plays out. But I will tell you, I think the number is off for Jeff Neal. This is a spot where you got to play the number. And I don't think Shavkat is a parlay piece. You know, if you go back on his regional tape, he has been dropped before. He almost lost that fight as well. A lot of the fighters that he's fighting, they haven't really had the chance to get off on him. But I don't know that Jeff Neal is going to struggle as much as his other opponents. Jeff Neal has great takedown defense as well. So that's another plus that I like in this fight. I think Jeff Neal KO at plus 650. I mean, I put a quarter unit on it. Would you rather?
If you're just doing a quarter unit plus 650, it does look pretty good. Because that wouldn't that? Do you think that's his only route to winning?
Yes. I think that's his path to victory, of course.
Without question.
Yeah.
But I just think that, Shavkat, the reason I choose decision as the prediction is because you're not going to want to strike with Jeff Neal. Sure, you might be able to get him down. You can, probably hurt him, but Jeff Neal is a hard cookie to finish. So, and even in the cage clinch, he's going to have to push up on Jeff Neal. He's hard to take down. So, and also at that, Shavkat's not going to want to gas himself out trying to look for that finish over Jeff Neal. I think he's a smart fighter. I'm not going to put it behind him to fight this fight cautiously. So, official prediction, Shavkat decision. But the bet, I have to go with Jeff Neal by TKO. Plus 650 is just too wide, So,
Yeah.
that's my take.
I like
What
the
do you
guts.
think, Garry?
I like the guts. We need guts.
We need
But-
that too.
But the fight going back and taping this one that made me think, okay, no, this is actually priced appropriately, is the Magny fight. That's the one. You watch Jeff Neal struggle with a guy who's known for wrestling, top pressure, cage control, and that just gave me zero confidence with how he'll perform against a guy like Shavkat. I'm not sure I'm willing to pay the price on Shavkat inside the distance just because, like Pat said, I do think if you want to take a stab at it, Neal by KO is probably the fun, highly unlikely, but there's a path to it outcome. But I think Shavkat most likely takes him down early, either beats him up with fucking ground and pound or takes his back and subs him. I don't see this one getting to the judges.
That's what I was looking at too. What I wrote down in my notes was under 2.5. The thing is, it's mad juiced, guys. It's minus 185.
Right.
But the thing is, like, I really don't think, like you said, Harry. I just don't think this is gonna go that far.
Maybe you
like
take an
said.
alt line 1.5.
Oh yeah, that could be. That could. I didn't see what the 1.5 was, but 2.5 was already minus 185. So
Right.
I don't so if you think about it though, like, right, Pat, you said KO, right? You would want to think that he would probably want to take that early. And then on the opposite side, I do think that just based on what I've seen, there is a chance that he could get subbed. In my opinion, that's just what I've seen, and based on how he fought against some of the film that I've seen against, especially like the Magny one, because the reason why I looked at Magny was because both of them fought each other. I mean, both of them fought him, so I wanted to see how they did that. And to me, I feel like under 2.5 rounds, even juice, I almost want to take it. I almost want to take it. I just feel like we talk about it in regular sports, right? In like soccer and hockey and all those things that are money line sports. If you think something is if something's minus 200, but you think it's minus 300, why are you not gonna bet it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you think it's gonna win.
Right.
Well, you see, Shavkat's actually priced minus 200 to get it done inside the distance. So the bookmakers are also thinking the same thing that you are. Also, what I just saw, and I put $25 on it. That's it, just $25. Jeff Neal to win inside the distance on Bet Online is plus 850. I have to.
Oh
I have
shit!
to. Like, I'm gonna do
Wow.
that. I'm okay losing $25, guys. Like, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
That's pretty crazy.
But
That's actually pretty crazy because if you think about it, you could just take both separately. No, never mind. Because isn't it if it's plus 850 for him to win inside the distance versus what minus 200 or something for
for
Shavkat?
Shavkat to win inside the distance, yeah.
I feel like there's a way to hedge that and make money as long as it more than the minus 185.
Yeah.
There might be some math to it. I think so. I think
You
there's
would have to
math.
Some
get into math a little bit. but-
Yeah, arbitrage. There you go.
I'm not a
It-
math guy.
Yeah, MMA is all like, probability and outcomes of certain results in the cage. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything can happen once you close that cage door. Like I'm not gonna put it past, Jeff Neal to pull the upset. And maybe my bias is speaking again, but I don't know, man. Plus 850, fuck, I'm okay. I'd rather buy a $25 inside the distance Jeff Neal ticket than a lottery ticket at the gas station for $25.
100%.
I respect that. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. All right, so let's do it. Let's move on here. We got the next one is Valentina and Grasso. This is the co-main event here. Shevchenko, obviously the more experienced fighter, 23-3. Grasso 15-3. This one, just the number itself kind of put me away on this one. I didn't know which way to go.
Yucky.
So, do you guys want to talk about this one? Pat, you want to start it off?
Yeah, so I think that this number is really wide. We're seeing Shevchenko upwards of minus 900 at certain books. Well, actually, just Bet Online right now.
Listen, that's still a certain book.
That's still a certain book, exactly. I don't know. I mean, how do you go against Valentina? You really can't. I mean, I think she's the better fighter just everywhere. What I do like, though, is Shevchenko to win by submission. It's sitting at plus 245. What we see a lot is that, she gets into these crucifix positions over her opponent, and she finishes the fight that way. I think Alexa Grasso is pretty scrambly. She's scramble friendly. She's good. She's decent on the mat. I think she can stay safe and out of those positions. She has good lateral movement as well, but I do think when Valentina transitions from the crucifix that I just see Alexa Grasso putting herself in a compromising spot where Valentina's going to find a choke and just finish it. Mm-hmm. I like Shevchenko to win by submission. That's my prediction for the fight. Overall, though, I just don't really have too hot of a take. I'm not a big fan of the number for either side here.
Yeah, it seems like so there's one loss that she has by sub, and that was in the first round to Suarez here. Harry, what is your take on this one? I know we don't want to take too much longer on it, but
no, we're good. I'm in a similar boat, man. I mean, you guys know me. First of all, anything in women's MMA over 115 is very hard for me to invest in because the majority of it is absolute slop. But I don't know. Like Valentina's coming off, in my opinion, a loss in her last fight to Talia Santos. Grasso's a good boxer, got good power, but I do agree with Pat that Valentina by sub is probably the best play. I think that's where Valentina will have the biggest advantage. Grasso's always had good boxing. I've always liked her striking. But yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm not gonna force a play here just for the sake of forcing it.
Yeah. Let's move on to the main event here. Jon Jones and Cyril Gane. This one, Gane's coming up with that KO, obviously, and then before that, the loss to Ngannou. I'll bring this up here. Oops. Jon Jones. And one thing that I was worried about is like this being his first fight. I feel like it's a tough one for him to come back to, especially being in a different weight class altogether. Um,
Bro, I think the
I
price is
I can only
crazy.
look towards Gane here. What are your? Go ahead, Harry. What do you think?
I think this price is insane. Insane. Do me a favor. Scroll to Jon Jones' last few fights. Let's take a look here. So we have Dominic Reyes, who, in my opinion, wasn't very good to begin with. We have Thiago Santos, who was just a fat middleweight. We have Anthony Smith, who also just not very good.
Yeah.
Gus, that's a good win. That one has aged fine. I'll give him that. DC, obviously a very good win.
Yep.
OSP wasn't that good at the time, really. I think he was ranked like 6 or 7 at the time. Like
Yeah.
my point being, Jones' resume has aged like fucking milk in the hot summer sun. It has aged so poorly, so poorly. You know, there's an argument that he lost the Dom Cruz or the Dom Cruz fight, the Dom Reyes fight. There's an argument that he lost the fight to Thiago Santos with. I mean, he couldn't finish Thiago Santos with 2 bum knees. Like, I don't understand why people think that after a 3-year layoff, where he's already seemed kind of washed towards the end, that he's
Yeah.
suddenly going to come in and just be this world beater again, up a weight class, fighting probably the most technical guy at heavyweight right now, probably the most well-rounded heavyweight right now. Now that Ngannou's not out of the UFC, but dude, Gane at plus money is crazy to me. Like, I'm emptying the clip on that. That's just an insane price to me. I don't think there's any reason to believe that Jon Jones will look better than he did 3 years ago when he did
Yeah.
not look good.
And then the other thing to add too, like I said, it's a different weight class, totally different weight class and different type of strategy as well.
And
The thing that
he
I'm
doesn't
thinking,
look good physically either.
yeah, exactly.
He
The
looks
other
like a
thing that I'm
bag of
thinking
milk.
is he at some book. I was looking at some books. Um, he was actually a dog. He opened up as a dog at some books at like plus 110, plus 115. Now he's a minus 170 favorite. Really, I think it's like
It's the
nostalgia.
McGregor
Like
effect.
it's
Yeah.
nostalgic. Like these guys are betting him off of previous history where, yeah, I don't know. To me, I think this is off. I feel like I would take I gotta take Gone here at plus money. Pat, are you in agreement or what are your thoughts on this
Finally,
one?
finally in agreement. Yes,
I was
Gane
gonna
is
say
the
I
guy
would be
here.
mad otherwise.
No, no, no. Listen though,
I don't
Gane.
think there's another reasonable take.
There really isn't. So Jon Jones fought in a time where the game hasn't quite evolved in the division. You know what Gon does? The game has totally changed. Leg kicks, calf kicks,
Hmm.
lateral movement. His movement is going to be the best movement that Jon Jones has ever seen. Maybe outside of a washed Lyoto Machida,
Right. Who was also just a fat middleweight.
who was exactly. Listen, the game's changed. The game has passed up Jon Jones. The
Yeah.
division is no longer one dimensional with Francis Ngannou with Cyril Gane. And you know, even at light heavyweight, it's not one dimensional anymore. You throw him in there with a top 3. I think there's some light heavyweights that could beat him. I don't know, man. I think the game's just changed. The game's evolved, and maybe I look like an idiot because Jon Jones is 26-1, and you know he's the GOAT and inside the cage, not outside. But I don't know, man.
For sure,
I think
not
that's
outside.
a generous price. Listen, at pick'em odds, where I think the line is a little bit more accurate, and even so, I would say Cyril Gane should be closer to minus 125. Full unit bet for me. I mean, all day. Got to
100%.
take Cyril
Yeah.
on the spot.
Easily.
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna
other
wait
thing too,
until
I was just
day
on
of.
Twitter and I saw that he's been training with one of the top BJJ
I
fighters out
saw
there.
that. The
Yeah,
Dagestani dude from Russia, the 10-0 heavyweight.
yeah, exactly. And that's work there. I mean, he's putting in the work. He's taking it seriously. One thing with the Ngannou fight, when I was watching that, I feel like he didn't really have that killer instinct. With Ngannou, even when he saw that Ngannou had that, I feel like he was like injured during the fight. He didn't attack it. I think there's that
Right.
mentality change right now with Ghana. And I think he's going to be taking this fight seriously.
And I don't
Obviously,
think he has to respect John's power as much as he had to respect Francis's.
exactly. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right. You're
Right
right.
there with you.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the fights that we wanted to talk about. Let's get into the betting section. This is our favorite part here, but also sometimes our not favorite part because we can't agree sometimes. Let's go to the lines. Pull this up a little bit.
Well, we know for sure we're all in agreement on Gane.
Yeah, let's go with Gane first. So do we want to just stick with the money line? That's what we want to. I think we want to. We just stick with the money line, right?
Yeah, I don't think. I
Yes.
think you're overthinking it. If you're,
Yes.
Okay.
Keep
you
it
got
simple,
you got
stupid.
a good price.
All right, let's go with this plus 145. I know I see a 155 here, but I don't know what SIA is, and I just want to pick books that people are.
Yeah, I think that's much closer
Exactly.
to consensus.
Yeah. All right, so let's go full unit there.
I personally will be throwing at least 2, but
I'm gonna be honest,
Okay.
dude, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I was gonna throw 2 on it too as well.
I'm gonna empty the clip, dude.
Y'all.
Hey, we're gonna go
I'm
big
doing the
this
same.
week.
I'm doing the same.
One-
Cyril
I fucking
Gane's gonna
going
beat
two
Jon
units,
Jones.
guys.
And
We're fucking
One
going.
Alright.
million units Supermax whale.
I know, right?
All right, so that's one. We wanted to pass on the Shevchenko Grasso, right?
Yeah.
So this is where it gets questionable here. So I think there was 2 ways that we were looking at this. It was inside the distance or under. Geoff Neal by KO. Shavkat by sub. Like where do we want to go here, or are we so split that we just want to pass on it?
I'm passing
What
for show purposes. I'm passing.
What is Shavkat inside the distance?
Let's
Minus 200.
Jesus Christ. I mean, maybe that's a decent parlay piece, but yeah,
Minus
I don't feel
200.
the need to force a straight play there. I wouldn't be opposed to throwing a quarter unit on the Neal by KO like Pat wanted to, but
Yeah.
other than that, I don't think there's anything worth playing.
I'll be doing that for selfish reasons. Just degenerate action pay-per-view card. I mean, I always throw a little bit of sprinkles here and there, but
we all do.
this is a fight where we're so split on. I don't know that there's a
That's fair. That's fair.
consensus. I mean, you guys agree. Y'all could put 3/4 unit on something, but yeah, I'll be.
But it's like at that price, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, so let's go to Turner and Gamrot here.
Another one where we're split.
I'm passing.
We
Yeah, I'm starting to think Gamrot is the side, and I think the number's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Gamrot's the better fighter. I still personally think Turner is the value side here, but I mean, yeah, look, there's a reason that it opened at like a pick'em and it's got steamed up to 2 to 1 for Gamrot.
Yeah.
The one thing that I brought up at the end of the breakdown too was that to go the distance at plus 160. Is that something that you guys want to look into, or kind of just pass on that as well?
I do kind of like that. That feels like a cheaper way to take Gamrot, basically.
Yeah, like if we're gonna if Gamrot,
because Turner only
like
uses the hammer or the nail. Turner doesn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
He doesn't really go the distance. So
I don't know that Gamrot has that finishing upside though in this fight. I think stylistically he had the finishing upside in the previous other fights. I mean, we saw him go the distance. I'm not going to compare Jalin to Arman. That's unfair as hell. But I do think Jalin has learned enough to actually stay safe and go the full 15. I like the plus 160. I would say.
Want to go?
I prefer that more than any unders.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with a half unit on that.
Half unit on it?
Yeah, half unit.
Nothing crazy.
All right. All right. So next up, we're gonna skip on the Bo Nickal, right?
Hell yeah.
There's nothing worth. Nothing
All right. So
worth
this one is
touching there.
where we kind of a little bit of a split here on Trevin Jones on how we think he's gonna win. So I think we looked at both by KO and also by decision here. So
Maybe
Jones
that
by
means
decision.
we split the difference. Take him straight up.
What was that?
Maybe that means we split the difference. Take him straight up. Still dog money.
Still dog money. That's what I was thinking. Just take that.
Because we all like the same winner, just a different method.
Yeah, exactly. So plus 155 here at 5 dimes. I think that would be the best one.
I like that. You're still getting a good price.
Yeah. Are we gonna look at this at a full unit?
Hey, good luck. Count me out. I don't want anything to do with this fight. I really don't.
All right, so let's go. All right, so it's either a half or a 0.75 or like a 3/4. What do you think, Harry?
I don't want to go. I'll go 3/4 if you're
3/4. I like this.
I think you get a chance to fade Cody at plus money at this point. You have to.
Yeah, I like it.
It's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's my read.
All right, so this one, Brunson and Dricus here. What did we say about this one? Inside the distance or under? I didn't
I
see.
like the KO for Dricus personally.
All
I
right,
think
let's
you'll
do
get
it.
a better number, and I don't think he's going to want to grapple with Brunson. But what do you guys think?
I'm with you on the KO.
Yeah, we can sprinkle it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Pat? Were you on this one or not? Are you there? Oh, I think
Ooh,
he. Oh, he's broken.
terrible timing. Terrible
Yeah, yeah.
timing.
Are you
I
there?
Am
want
I
to
Pat?
broken?
say.
No,
Oh, you're
no, you're
back. You're
back. You're
back.
back. So we're
Oh,
thinking Dricus by KO at plus 155 here or 150.
I'm gonna pass on this fight too. I'm not,
I know
like
you.
I said,
You
I
said you
haven't
couldn't
read
get a
Derek
read on
Brunson fight
Brunson.
correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Should
good
we
luck,
go a
guys.
half on
I'm not
this
doing
one,
that one.
Harry?
I'm in.
All right, let's do a half here on this one. We'll just agree to if we don't all three agree, then we never do a full unit. That's our agreement.
I like that. That's a good rule.
Yeah.
All right, so then I don't think I didn't have anything on this Viviane fight. I think Pat, this one was you, right?
Yeah,
Did you agree with
Yeah,
him,
honestly
I
Harry?
like
didn't have anything.
I like Vivi and I like Mana Martinez. I think that those are
I'm with you on Mana. I am indifferent on Vivi. If you want to throw that on the card, go ahead. I'm probably not going to play it personally. But,
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that one either. Maybe we keep that
yeah,
one off.
pass on it. Pass on it.
Okay.
That's personal.
yeah. But
Uh,
I'm with you on Mana. I think that's a
Mana, okay.
misprice.
Let's go. Yeah, Mana's gonna surprise a lot of people.
We're
That's
just gonna
right.
do the 255 money line, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
We're overthinking
Damn,
it.
it's available at
Otherwise.
DraftKings too. That's good. I think that number disappears after this show.
That's right.
I
Let them know.
like the way that you guys brought it up because I didn't really have an angle on this one, but the way you brought it up, I do like it a little bit more. So if you guys want to go full unit, I'm down. It's up to you guys though.
Yeah, I'm like I said,
Fuck it.
that's my favorite spot of the card outside of Vivi. Vivi is my favorite spot, but this is just the odds, man.
Go
Yes,
for the
full
jugular.
unit.
Let's
Lock
get
it
it.
in.
Let's go.
Let's go, Harry.
We got it. All right. So the other one that we talked about is the song and Garry, but I don't think there was an agreement there either.
No, I had the over, but I don't need to include that by any means.
Yeah.
And
Pat,
yeah,
nothing, right?
I don't think there's a side worth playing.
I'll pass on Ian Garry fights for right
All
now.
right. So this is our card here then.
Hell yeah.
We got 5. Mana Martinez money line, a full unit plus 255. We got Duplessis a half unit by KO plus 150. Trevin Jones money line 3/4 unit at plus 155. Fight goes the distance with Gamrot Turner at plus 160. That's a half unit. And our big one here, Cyril Gane plus 145 on the money line. I like it, dude. All plus money too. Oh man.
That's how you do it.
This is how we do it. This is how you do it.
I love
All
the
right, guys.
final segment of this Cap the Cage where we can agree and disagree and you can see our bets and stuff. I think that's super helpful for like viewership. So yeah,
Yeah,
badass.
sure.
I love the card. Love the card.
I love it. All right. Well, with that said, guys, can't wait until Saturday we get all these done and finished and all that stuff. Harry, I know you got a PFL interview to get ready for. So
Yes, sir.
appreciate you jumping on here with me, Pat. Obviously, all the time you're always on my other show as well sometimes. So love having you on. With that said, we'll see you guys next week. Good luck with all your action until then. Peace.
Yes, sir. Oh,